The moment they start pulling away is not when you said something wrong. It's when you said too much. People don't leave because you're boring. They leave because you remove the mystery without realizing it. You think connection is built by filling silence. It isn't. Connection is built when someone leans forward, wondering what you're thinking. The first mistake most people make is believing that being understood requires explaining everything. Your feelings, your intentions, your past, your fears. You open your mouth thinking clarity will protect you. But clarity, given too early, kills attraction. Watch what happens in real life. You meet someone new. At first they ask questions, they listen, they are curious. Then you start talking. More. You answer before they ask. You fill pauses with stories. You explain yourself so they don't misunderstand you. Slowly their questions stop. Their replies get shorter. They stop leaning in. Nothing dramatic happens. No argument, no goodbye, just distance, and you don't understand why. Here's the truth. Most people never want to hear. Interest is created by what is withheld, not what is given. When you talk too much, you remove the work from their mind. You turn curiosity into consumption. The human mind values what it has to reach for. What comes easily feels disposable. This isn't cruelty, it's psychology. Think about power for a moment. Not loud power, not dominance, quiet power, the kind of power that makes people pause before speaking to you. In every room, notice who speaks the least. They are rarely ignored. People watch them. They wait for their reaction. Silence creates weight. When you speak too much, you make yourself predictable. Predictability kills desire, not just romantic desire. Respect, attention, influence. People don't crave noise, they crave meaning, and meaning requires space. Most people talk because they're afraid of losing the moment. They think if silence appears, something bad will happen. So they rush to fill it. They reveal opinions too fast. They share vulnerabilities before trust exists. They explain decisions that were never questioned. They confuse openness with strength. Stoic thinkers understood something simple. Not everything inside you needs to be released. Some things gain power by staying contained. When you explain yourself necessarily, you signal insecurity, not intentionally, but unmistakably. You tell the other person, I need you to understand me right now. That need is felt, even if it's never spoken. And need repels. Look at arguments. The person who talks more loses control. They repeat themselves. They raise their voice. They justify. The person who stays calm and says little controls the direction. Silence foe. RCE is the other person to fill the gap. They reveal themselves. Talking too much is often a defense mechanism, a way to manage anxiety, a way to feel safe. But safety does not create attraction. Strength does. Strength is being able to sit in silence without panicking. When you overshare early, you collapse the emotional distance that creates intrigue. You give access before it's earned. Access wit. Out effort feels cheap. Think about how people treat free things. They don't protect them. They don't value them. Your thoughts, your emotions, your stories are no different. This doesn't mean become cold. It means become selective. There's a difference between being present and being exposed. Presence is calm. Exposure is uncontrolled. People lose interest when they feel there's nothing left to discover. You might think, but I'm just being real. Reality without restraint is not authenticity. It's leakage. Authenticity doesn't mean telling everything. It means telling the right thing at the right time. Timing is power. In relationships, the one who reveals slower often sets the pace. The one who reveals everything first follows. Following feels safe, but it doesn't command respect. Watch how people respond when you pause before answering. When you don't rush to fill silence, when you let a question hang for a moment, they pay more attention. They wait. Your words carry more weight because there are fewer of them. This applies everywhere: work, friendships, family. The person who over-explains is rarely promoted. They're tolerated, not followed. Leaders don't narrate their thinking constantly. They speak with intention, talking to M. Uch is often mistaken for passion. But passion without discipline becomes noise. Noise is easy to ignore. The Stoic approach is not to suppress yourself. It's to master yourself. Self-mastery begins with knowing when silence is more powerful than speech. When someone pulls away, most people chase with words. They send long messages. They explain feelings. They ask for reassurance. This accelerates the loss. Silence, used correctly, does the opposite. Silence creates space. Space creates thought. Thought creates reconsideration. When you stop explaining, the other person fills the gap with their own interpretation. And most of the time, that interpretation is kinder than your fear. Fear makes you talk. Confidence lets you wait. Waiting is unbearable for the insecure, but magnetic for the STR. You don't need to convince people of your value. Value is felt when it isn't announced. The more you try to be understood, the less interesting you become. Mystery is not manipulation, it's respect for pacing. People want to discover, not be lectured. Every unnecessary word weakens your position, not immediately, but gradually, like water eroding stone. You may not notice it happening, but on E-Day, they're gone. And you replay every conversation wondering where it shifted. It shifted when you stop letting them wonder. Silence is not absence, it is presence without noise. Learn to end conversations first. Learn to leave pauses unfilled. Learn to answer simply. Short answers are not rude, they are controlled. You don't owe everyone full access to your inner world. Reserve depth for hoes who earn consistency. When you speak less, people listen more. When you explain less, people assume more strength. Assumptions matter. People treat you based on what they believe about you, not what you say about yourself. Let them believe you are calm. Let them believe you are grounded. Let them believe you are not easily shaken. Talking too much tells them the opposite. It tells them you're trying to manage how you're seen. Power doesn't manage perception. It allows perception to form naturally. Silence removes friction. The hardest skill to learn is restraint, because restraint feels like loss of control at first. But restraint is control. When you master silence, you stop reacting. When you stop reacting, you stop chasing. When you stop chasing, people feel the shift. They notice space you no longer fill. And space is where desire lives. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Not every thought needs a voice. Not every feeling needs an explanation. Not every silence needs saving. Some silences are tests, others are invitations. Failing both looks the same. You don't gain respect by being louder. You gain it by being measured. And those who cannot handle your silence were never prepared for your strength. Because, in the end, the most dangerous thing you can do is speak less and mean more.